Welcome to Verdo Studio, a quiet space where your hands can meet inspiration and your garden dreams take root in gentle detail. In this episode, we invite you to step away from the noise and into something slow, simple, and deeply satisfying. The world of peaceful water features you can create yourself, using only flower pots, a few simple tools, and a bit of afternoon sun. These are more than just DIY projects. They are stories told through movement and stillness. A stream that hums softly in the corner of your backyard. A bowl of bubbling calm that rests quietly on your table. A teapot brought back to life, pouring peace drop by drop. Through each design we'll explore, you'll discover not only how to shape water, but how to carve out quiet in the everyday. And while these ideas are simple enough to build with your own hands, they are rich with soul, with care, and with beauty. Every word you hear in this video has been carefully composed using artificial intelligence, a tool that helps us gather, shape, and present ideas with greater clarity. We believe transparency matters. And while our voice may be digital, the heart behind it remains grounded in real joy, real nature, and real inspiration. If this kind of calm creation speaks to you, we warmly invite you to subscribe. Let Verdo Studio be your quiet companion. In every season, with every project, one peaceful video at a time. Now take a deep breath. Let's begin. With water, with stillness, and with the beauty of doing it yourself. In the heart of a quiet afternoon, where light gently plays on garden leaves, a subtle trickle begins its song. It flows from the crown of a modest terracotta pot, wending its way over smooth, sun-warmed pebbles. This is not a costly landscape design. No contractors, no blueprints. Just your own two hands and a little faith in the sun. The beauty of a solar-powered water feature lies not only in its silence, but in its simplicity. There's no need for tangled wires or noisy pumps. A small solar panel rests nearby, drinking in the morning sun and powering the fountain's gentle heartbeat. It's a project you can finish in an afternoon, yet the peace it brings will linger for years. To begin, gather 2 or 3 pots of varying sizes. Seal their drainage holes with putty and stack them securely. Nestled between their rims, tuck flexible tubing connected to a compact solar fountain pump, one easily found at a local garden center. Once filled with water, gravity and sunlight take over, nature doing what it does best. Scatter pebbles across the base and let them catch the falling water. Each drop sparkles briefly, gliding over time-smoothed stone before disappearing below. Add a few sprigs of creeping thyme or lavender, and suddenly the air is fragrant, the scene complete. This isn't just a fountain. It's a tiny sanctuary, an ode to the quiet hum of nature and the small joy of doing something yourself. And when birds gather to sip or children lean in to watch the flow, you'll feel it too. A whisper of serenity, sustained by sun, water, and care. In the heart of a quiet afternoon, where light gently plays on garden leaves, a subtle trickle begins its song. It flows from the crown of a modest terracotta pot, wending its way over smooth, sun-warmed pebbles. This is not a costly landscape design. No contractors, no blueprints. Just your own 2 hands and a little faith in the sun. The beauty of a solar-powered water feature lies not only in its silence, but in its simplicity. There's no need for tangled wires or noisy pumps. A small solar panel rests nearby, drinking in the morning sun and powering the fountain's gentle heartbeat. It's a project you can finish in an afternoon, yet the peace it brings will linger for years. To begin, gather 2 or 3 pots of varying sizes. Seal their drainage holes with putty and stack them securely. Nestled between their rims, tuck flexible tubing connected to a compact solar fountain pump, one easily found at a local garden center. Once filled with water, gravity and sunlight take over, nature doing what it does best. Scatter pebbles across the base and let them catch the falling water. Each drop sparkles briefly, gliding over time-smoothed stone before disappearing below. Add a few sprigs of creeping thyme or lavender, and suddenly the air is fragrant, the scene complete. This isn't just a fountain. It's a tiny sanctuary, an ode to the quiet hum of nature and the small joy of doing something yourself. And when birds gather to sip or children lean in to watch the flow, you'll feel it too. A whisper of serenity, sustained by sun, water, and care. Some gardens don't need drama. They crave stillness, grace, and subtle movement. In the middle of a quiet patio or nestled among ornamental grasses, a single bowl begins to breathe. The water doesn't roar or rush. It bubbles, gently, rhythmically, as though the garden itself is exhaling. You found the bowl at a local pottery shop, glazed in soft sea blue, its surface catching light like morning dew on glass. Its shape is clean, modern, and round, with just enough depth to hold a secret. Inside it, a hidden pump waits to send water upward, not in jets or cascades, but in a soft dome that trembles and glimmers. The setup is refreshingly simple. One large glazed pot, a quiet, submersible pump, a circle of small river stones placed like quiet punctuation marks. And that's it. No stacking, no tubes snaking through tears. Just a single vessel like a meditation bowl in mid-song. As the water begins to stir, it forms a perfect dome at the center. Light dances on the glossy glaze, casting little ripples of reflection onto nearby walls. Even the breeze slows down here. It's a space to sit with your coffee, to run your fingers across warm ceramic, to simply exist beside movement that asks for nothing but notice. This design doesn't scream for attention, it holds it. Whether placed on a modern terrace or beside a cluster of succulents, the glazed, bubbling bowl becomes a quiet invitation to pause, to breathe, to let the day soften. And the best part? You made it, not with many pieces, but with a single choice beautifully realized. In a corner of the garden where wild mint grows freely and the sun dapples through fern leaves, something magical trickles from an old storybook. An antique teapot, once forgotten in a dusty cupboard, now leans delicately forward, dripping water, drop by drop, into a small basin below. This fountain isn't bold. It whispers. It delights. It's the kind of garden feature that makes children believe in fairies and guests pause with a smile they don't explain. All you need is an old teapot, chipped, stained, full of character, and a basin or terracotta pot to catch its gentle spill. To begin, mount the teapot slightly above your base, on a repurposed shepherd's hook, a bent iron stand, or even a driftwood branch. Inside the basin, conceal a quiet water pump. The tubing slips through the handle or spout of the teapot, depending on how you tilt it. Seal it with care, so only the water's tiptoe remains. Once flowing, the result is soft and mesmerizing. A single stream arcs from the spout, tracing a silvery thread into the pool beneath. You can hear the rhythm, the slow patter, the pause between drops, like a lullaby from another age. Decorate with mossy stones, a few daisies, perhaps an old saucer half buried in soil. The charm is in the details, in the layers of nostalgia and curiosity. It's a design that doesn't just reuse, it reimagines. This whimsical teapot fountain brings laughter to a quiet corner, turns waste into wonder, and reminds you that the best gardens aren't always polished, they're poetic. There's a sound that calms deeper than silence, a soft tap of water, rhythmic and deliberate, like breath in meditation. In a corner shaped by simplicity, where stones meet moss and gravel lines ripple like gentle thought, a bamboo fountain leans into time. This is the essence of Zen. No bright colors, no clutter, just the organic grain of bamboo, hollowed and cut with quiet precision. You place it over a shallow stone bowl, its shape cradling water like cupped palms. Inside, a discreet pump sends a slender stream up through the bamboo tube, where it spills slowly, peacefully, into the stillness below. The water trickles, then disappears. And again and again. You can watch it endlessly and forget what you were holding in your heart. Building it is its own meditation. You trim the bamboo tube, sand it smooth, and angle it just so. Perhaps mimicking the classic shurshuradoshi that tips and knocks, or leaving it fixed for a continuous stream. The stones around it are not placed, they are arranged, deliberately, intentionally. Raked gravel draws slow circles around the bowl. Ferns and ivy soften the edges. In this place, the world retreats. You sit nearby with a book, but don't read. You breathe with the water. The moment stretches and bends like bamboo in the wind. A Zen bamboo fountain isn't just decor. It's a portal to stillness, to presence, to the gentle truth that beauty needs no flourish. Just form, just flow. You made it with your own hands, but it belongs to the silence. At first glance, it looks like a bowl of stones, smooth, simple, unmoving. But listen closely and you'll hear it. The hush of water slipping between gaps, sinking into the earth like a secret. This is the disappearing planter pond, a garden illusion, crafted with quiet brilliance. The water doesn't collect above. It vanishes. Beneath a layer of pebbles and mesh lies a hidden reservoir, where a submersible pump sends water bubbling upward before letting it vanish again, looping endlessly, gently. The surface remains dry to the touch, but the music of movement never stops. To build it, begin with a large, sealed flower pot or planter. Set a water basin or bucket snugly inside. Over that, rest a piece of sturdy mesh or metal grid, supported by bricks or stones. Then, layer in natural river pebbles, wide enough to hide the basin, spaced enough to let water flow through. The tubing rises through the mesh, emerging between the stones like a gentle spring. No splashing, just the subtle illusion of a well that feeds itself. Surround the feature with creeping thyme, soft moss, or miniature grasses. Let them lean in as if listening. This fountain doesn't demand attention, it rewards curiosity. Birds may hover in confusion. Guests may lean closer, wondering where the water goes. And you'll feel it in your breath. The stillness, the trickle, the way a thing can be seen and unseen all at once. The disappearing planter pond is more than clever design. It's an invitation to observe, to wonder, to enjoy the gentle hush of water and stone. A moment of stillness made with hands and patience. A secret the garden keeps just for you. The barrel once held summer harvests, aged in oak and shadow. Now, nestled beneath a vine-covered trellis, it has a second life. Not as a vessel for wine, but for water, peace, and slow afternoons. You find the barrel at a salvage yard, its wood worn and silvered by time. A memory of vineyards lingers in its scent. Once home, you seal its interior with care, place a hidden pump at the bottom, and watch as its purpose transforms with the sound of flowing water. The barrel becomes a basin. Water flows from a curved copper spout, looping from the pump and spilling back into itself. You line the base with river stones, add a water lily or two, and the surface comes alive, rippling in the sunlight, dancing with breeze. This isn't just a fountain, it's a statement of renewal. By upcycling the wine barrel, you've preserved history while planting something new. The grain of the oak glows golden when wet, and the trickle of water against its sides becomes a gentle reminder. Things made with care can always be reborn. Add a few potted herbs, basil, mint, lavender, and suddenly the air is fragrant, the space complete. A chair nearby invites a pause. A book, a glass of iced tea. In a world that moves too fast, the wine barrel oasis holds stillness. You made it with old wood, clean water, and new intention. The garden thanks you with birdsong and dappled light. And as the water flows, so too does a quiet sense of joy, handmade, honest, and entirely your own. Morning arrives with wings. A finch dips low, perching on the edge of a shallow basin where water shimmers and petals sway. The fountain at the heart of your garden isn't just beautiful. It's alive, visited, welcomed. A floating flower pot gently bubbles at the center, turning stillness into song. This project is as simple as it is enchanting. Begin with a wide, low bowl, ceramic or stone, and fill it with clean water. At its center, place a smaller flower pot fitted with a solar-powered bubbler. Choose one that floats or rests lightly on a submerged support. As the sun rises, water softly sprays upward, barely a whisper in the still air. Add floating flowers, marigolds, daisies, or even petals from the morning's trimming. Their colors spin in slow circles, moved only by the breeze. Around the edges, tiny footprints form where birds pause for a drink, bees skim the surface, and butterflies linger nearby. You didn't set out to make a bird bath. You made a fountain, yes, but the visitors came on their own. That's the beauty of it. When water is fresh and gently moving, life arrives. And so, this floating flower pot fountain becomes more than decor. It becomes communion. Keep the water clean and the pump free of debris. Replace flowers often, watching how each new arrangement draws different moods. Maybe one day, you'll find feathers in the bowl, signs of tiny guests who came for rest and stayed for peace. In creating this small oasis, you've built something tender, something that asks for very little but gives so much. It shimmers, it hosts, it heals. A garden isn't always about what grows from the soil. Sometimes it's about what lands, drinks, and leaves its song behind. Some serenity is held not in the garden, but in the gentle hush beside your armchair. There, on a wooden tabletop warmed by morning light, an egg-shaped fountain hums softly. The water barely rises, just enough to shimmer across its smooth ceramic shell, like breath across a stone. You don't need a large yard or even a terrace for this one. This is peace for small spaces, for apartments, balconies, reading nooks, for the corner where you drink your tea and let the day settle. Creating this fountain is joyfully minimal. Begin with a rounded, sealed pot, egg-shaped if you can find it, or any smooth vessel that cradles water close to its body. A small, silent pump fits inside, circulating water in a continuous breath-like rhythm. You can find tabletop pump kits online or in garden stores, often ready to use out of the box. Place the fountain near a window, where the light shifts gently through the day. Let its form catch the changing tones. Amber in the morning, silver by dusk. Add a few pebbles inside for texture, or let the surface remain bare and pure. This isn't a fountain that asks for attention. It rests, it murmurs, it holds space. You might keep it on your writing desk where it drowns out digital noise, or on your bedside table where it becomes the last sound you hear before sleep. Friends will ask where you bought it, surprised when you answer, "I made it." Because in making it, you didn't just assemble parts, you created an atmosphere. A small echo of nature inside the walls you call home. An egg of water, a soft heart of sound. A reminder that stillness is not found, it's made. And just like that, our journey through gentle waters comes to a close. You've seen how a simple flower pot can become a sanctuary, how an old barrel, a humble teapot, or a smooth glazed bowl can bring stillness to a noisy world. You've heard the soft hush of fountains you can build with your own hands, and imagine them nestled in corners of light, whispering peace into your garden, your balcony, your life. Here at Verdo Studio, we believe in creating beauty that feels real, not distant or perfect, but honest, crafted, serene. Each design we shared today wasn't just about function. It was about feeling, the joy of doing something slowly, the rhythm of water falling just right. the quiet pleasure of sitting beside something you made, listening to it breathe. And if these stories stirred something in you, a curiosity, a calm, a spark to begin, then we invite you to stay with us. Subscribe to Verdo Studio and let us walk with you through more peaceful ideas. Garden by garden, sound by sound, moment by moment. This space will always be here when you need it. To pause, to make, to rest in beauty you can shape yourself. Thank you for sharing this time with us. May your hands stay gentle, your corners stay quiet, and your fountain, however small, keep flowing. Until next time, this is Verdo Studio, where water remembers and peace begins with you.